The World War I tank may have caused tank fright, but our next machine is quite simply the most feared tank of all time. The mere whisper of its name could inspire panic and terror, and rightly so. When it first appeared in 1942, nothing on the battlefield could touch it. For the first months of its service, there were literally no anti-tank weapons available that could destroy this vehicle. Here was a tank that could sweep all before it and yet remain impervious to attack. It was a tank commander's dream and a nightmare for the Allied troops who faced it. Coming in at number 3 in our top 10 is the mighty Tiger tank.
The German Tiger tank. First produced in 1942. Top speed 23 miles per hour. Range 121 miles. Maybach engine gives weight-to-power ratio of 12.3 horsepower per ton. 100mm maximum armor thickness. Primary armament, 88mm gun.
The Tiger weighs in a full 20 tons heavier than its nearest rival, and a lot of that extra weight is in the armor. In one 6-hour engagement, a Tiger was hit 227 times, and despite damage to its tracks, transmission, and wheels, it managed to drive another 40 miles to safety. The Tiger was a monster of a tank, and it personified Hitler's ideals for his army of supermen.
One of the comparisons that has been made between the tank at its first appearance and the Tiger tank at its first appearance is the way that ordinary infantrymen back in Roman times reacted to the appearance of an elephant. You simply run for cover because you have nothing to take down an elephant. In the same way, these tanks simply seem to be indestructible. You had nothing that you could do except for hide, duck, and cover.
Apart from being hard to knock out, the Tiger was also deadly. Just one shot from its massive 88mm gun could pulverize an Allied tank. One Tiger ace, Michael Wittmann, became World War II's most decorated tank commander, with an incredible 141 tank kills to his credit. Despite its huge fear factor, only 1,500 Tiger tanks were ever built.
I do know that the Germans always chose quality over quantity. And you can see that actually today in German cars. You prefer to produce a few really nice machines rather than, quickly produce a lot of cheap things.
Hitler and the people around him try to compensate for Germany's huge difficulties by trying to make a tank that will be so technologically advanced that it will sweep all other tanks before it. And they build the Tiger.
The Tiger was an engineering masterpiece, but just too difficult to construct.
The Tiger was the real German disaster of the war. Totally useless tank that just absorbed huge resources and has been venerated by tank enthusiasts ever since.
Eventually, the mighty Tiger was subdued, overwhelmed by the sheer number of American and Russian tanks pouring off the production lines. The Tiger scores top marks for firepower. Its 88mm gun was a real monster for the time. For armor, we award it near to the maximum. This was a heavy tank, but speed is still reasonable, so it achieves an acceptable score in this category. But it is the production rating that really lets the Tiger down. Here it scores close to 0 points. Its fear factor, however, is off the scale. Even its name was an act of psychological warfare.